So let's go into the first React content of today, which is talking about KLED changes. I haven't seen this at all. This is my first time reading them. Now, I'm obviously not going to watch 1 hour and 32 minutes of Riot's end step video. This is a game designer of Riot that sometimes does videos about certain things. He did a couple of things for the game. I don't fully remember which ones, but my opinion so far on this person specifically and his work is that he's like hit or miss. Like some changes he does are good, some are not. I don't really know how to feel about this KLED rework. Of course, YouTube is lagging as always. Nothing new for YouTube these days. So let me just read actually the Reddit summary thread here. So I have not read this at all, never. So before I start reading it, why is Riot reworking / whatever they're doing to KLED? It's just a question that has to pop into our heads here. And the reason why this is probably happening is I assume he's just unpopular. He's a niche character, so it's not like he's supposed to be super popular. But I assume that over the years, maybe he became a lot less interesting to play. Kinda similar to Riven. What happened to Riven over years? She used to be like one of the most insanely fun fighters, and then a lot of newly released champions just kinda outscaled her. And if I were to put into Riot's perspective, what would be the things I would fix or change about KLED? So first of all, I think the reason why KLED is so enjoyed by so many people is because he's this niche character where he has a lot of these mechanics that other characters don't have, which is like when you ult, you have to go in, you cannot stop the ult. Or the way he dismounts, or the way he cannot control the W usage. Like a lot of it is like just like this crazy, his whole identity is being this crazy character that like you can't control. Like once you go in, you just have to commit and stuff like that, right? Like you can't have a lot of control over the character, which I think is cool and unique about the character. And I don't think Riot should fully like remove that, right? Because these are some of the weaknesses of KLED. Now, if I were to just think really fast, what would I do about KLED? I'm thinking to myself, like maybe I would make his W spell activatable. I know that removes part of the fun from the champion, but it is very clunky, the fact that you can't activate the spell. Other than that, I think what I would like Riot to do is, I believe KLED has an issue where he's not incentivized to build a lot of HP because the base form of KLED, like the mini KLED, doesn't, I think, his HP doesn't go up, only Skarl gets the HP, right? Something like that. So I think maybe there needs to be some fixing because KLED suffers from the same issue as a lot of champions like Aatrox suffer, which is that a lot of times lethality builds become better than bruiser builds. And I think KLED fundamentally should be like Garen, should be like Aatrox, which is that he should be a bruiser, not ever built as a lethality as his primary playstyle. But okay, those are just some of the random thoughts about KLED. Let's see. Passive. Remount HP is now granted at the beginning of the remount sequence, not at the end. Ooh, wait, so if I'm understanding correctly, if he is in mini form and he gets the full bar, he will instantly get HP off, so you won't have that timer anymore to burst him anymore. Is that what it means? I could be wrong. Dismounted KLED now gains 1% bonus HP as armor and MR, increased by 20% for each nearby enemy, up to 2% bonus HP. Huh. Okay, so they're trying to make the dismounted KLED a lot tankier. With the later the game is, because he has more items and more levels, the more tanky he'll get with armor and MR. I think it's a cool change. I definitely think this is appreciated. I think that dismounted KLED, especially mid to late game, is just bursted too quickly, for sure. Courage gained from minion last hits increased from 4 to 5. Okay. This is nice because a lot of times when you're dismounted, the only way to get the bike back is by attacking towers or champions, and this makes attacking minions and last hitting a little bit better. Courage gained from takedown within 3 seconds of damaging the enemy from 20 to 0. I didn't even know that's a mechanic on KLED, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't even actually realize that if somebody gets finished, he gains more courage. Okay. Dismounted. Oh, my camera died. That's really cool. We're back. Where were we? Dismounted KLED auto attack damage against champions modified. Dismounted KLED auto attack damage against champions modified from 80 to 85 to 100%. Okay, really cool change. I like what I'm reading so far. So it seems like the dismounted KLED just does a lot less damage per auto attack. In early game, this will still be the case, but the later the game goes, the less penalty he will receive. Dismounted moon speed penalty reduced from 60 to 40. Dismounted moon speed penalty. That means that he moves a little bit faster, I guess, when he's dismounted. Dismounted moon speed gain towards the enemy champion went down by a lot. So I kind of can appreciate that too. I think this is good for the champion. I think this number was extremely big, and I think even if it goes down a little bit, it won't necessarily hurt the champion that much. Dismounted speed boost acquisition range increased from 100 to 1200. So okay, more range for chasing down people. Fine. Skarl's health reduced from 400 to 1550 linear scaling to 400 1400 with stat progression multiplier. What the hell is a stat progression multiplier? I'm not sure. Skarl health gained on remount reduced from 45 to 75 to 40 to 70. Okay. So obviously a lot of these lines here were only buffs, right? So the Riot needs to find some ways to nerf the champion. They cannot just give him insane amounts of win rate. I think this is also okay. Dismounted dash timer is now exact instead of fuzzy. Okay, that's cool. That's like a quality of life change. Q, dismounted. Ammo charge time modifier 20 to 7.5. Character level scaling to 18 to 10 seconds. Q rank scaling. Ooh. So I believe this is a buff in vast majority of cases, actually. This is only a nerf in late game scenarios, but I don't think you rely on ammo recharge super late game that as much as you do in early game. So this, in my opinion, definitely a buff. Damage per pellet reduced 35 to 95 to 35 95, 65% bonus AD. Okay. I think that's fine. Like, you get more of this ability, so the damage goes down a bit. Max damage is obviously now reduced. Okay, fair. Now checks around KLED's 0 point to hit champs. Not sure what this means. Q, mounted. Initial hit bonus AD ratio reduced from 65 to 60. Not a big deal. I think the pool does a lot more damage than the initial hit, so it's okay. Total damage from initial hit plus pool reduced by 15%. Okay. No longer applies grievous wounds on pool. What? No longer applies grievous wounds on pool. Okay, that is interesting. I didn't expect Riot to remove that from the kit, because KLED was very unique in the sense that he had anti-heal already built in, and that helped with a lot of his matchups, like for example if you play against Vladimir and stuff like that. Similar to how, for example, Blitzcrank has inbuilt that he breaks shields with ultimate. So I honestly not a big fan that they're removing this. I think this was very unique to the champion. Pool timer is now exact instead of fuzzy. That's good. Slow reduced from 40 to 60 to 30 to 50. I would still say that this slow amount is still pretty good for the champion. Slow duration though increased, so I would say this arguably is most of the time above actually. Now calculates pool damage on pool rather than when the tether is attached. Okay. Ooh! Wow, wait. That could have some impact in some cases, right? Okay, that's cool. Now checks around KLED's 0 point to hit everything. Okay, so far some numbers are being moved around. I would say the champion definitely is moving into a better direction. Not sure if it's enough. Let's see more. W, cooldown increased from 11 to 5 to 13 to 9. Wow, that is a very big cooldown buff, like nerf to KLED. Attacking enemies with violent tendencies is on cooldown now. While it's on cooldown, reduces the remaining cooldown. 1.5 second reduction for enemy attacks. 0.5 reduction for non-champions. Okay, so KLED is going to be able to reduce this cooldown even further down if he's able to attack the characters now, or even minions. This is cool, but I'm a bit worried about this change. Why am I worried about this change? Because I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like when this ability is on cooldown, KLED's attack speed, and just in general his attack animation, is kind of bad in my opinion, and the champion won't be building a lot of attack speed. So I'm not sure how much he's incentivized to auto-attack when this ability is on cooldown anyway. I'm not sure, but we'll see. But I understand that Riot didn't want to just put a active on this ability, because I think they want to keep KLED's identity, which is that like if he accidentally attacks and then the W goes on cooldown, he gets punished. Damage modifier from 20 to 60 flat, plus target's max health, plus 1% target's max health per 20 bonus AD, to 20 to 60 flat, 4.4 to 6.5, target max HP, plus 1% per 250 bonus HP. Oh, okay. So what I'm reading here is that they changed this. This is basically the important stat. it goes from bonus AD to bonus HP. So now he's a lot more incentivized and scales a lot harder with health, which further incentivizes him into bruiser builds and less into lethality builds. Good change. No longer starts the W sequence when attacking wards. Instead, attacking ward matches plant behavior and maintains the attack speed buff without consuming W. Super good. I like this change a lot. Super, super, super good quality of life change that a lot of champions have received over the years. Okay. Cool changes. E, damage reduced from 35, 135, 65 AD to 35, 155 AD. So a little bit of damage loss. Now has the spell timer hot tracker to indicate to the player how long they have to recast E2. That's cool. Now has range indicator. Okay, that's cool too. Overall, I'm totally fine with Riot removing damage from E ability because I think it is kind of Sklat's unskilled ability. R. Minimum damage modifier from 4.6 targets max health plus 4% per 100 bonus AD to 4.8%, so more max health, 3% per bonus 100 AD, so less damage flat, I guess, or whatever this is. And then max modifier is the same. Now has ping override for ping in the range. Bug fixes. Lulu R no longer heals Sklat multiple times. A lot of bug fixes. Okay. So, where are we leaving with this Sklat rework? I definitely think the champion will feel better early game. Probably also a bit later. I think that he's more incentivized to build HP now than before, which is very good. Here's my problem. I think this changes overall. R is magic damage now. Oh, wait. R is magic damage now? Okay, that further nerfs lethality builds, and on top of that also kind of buffs the ability. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Listen, the only thing I'm sad about is that the Q will no longer apply grievous wounds. This is the only thing I'm sad about. I think all the changes that I've read are definitely good for the champion. However, I'm still skeptical that this is enough. Like, it will still be KLED, you know? Like, these are really good number rebalances and stuff like that. But my worry is still that KLED is still gonna be KLED. I don't think that the same problems, the same weaknesses, the same frustrations, I think, when you play KLED are still kind of gonna be there. Bao said it's a ChatGPT change again. It takes away uniqueness even if it's somewhat above. I don't think it takes away uniqueness. The only uniqueness that they take away is the grievous wounds, which honestly I'm not a fan of. But everything else, I honestly think the changes are totally fine. I would argue they're buffs. And if they're not buffs, then I would argue that these changes are going to be... They're going to make the champion feel better, which is like very important because the same thing happened to Swain, guys. Riot actually made Swain be less winner than before, but instead Swain, after the rework happened, he has less win rate, but he feels a lot better to play. And I think the same is happening here. I can't complain what I've read. Like, it still changes into a good direction.